In this session, we will consider the 11 elements that make up the process of Scrum as described in the Scrum framework. First, let's identify the roles in a Scrum team. The Scrum Master. The Scrum Master is the coach for the team and the organization in implementing Scrum so that all the benefits of Scrum may be gained through the effective implementation. The Scrum Master is a management role that manages the effective implementation and understanding of the Scrum framework within the organization. They also need to be considered a senior enough organizational role so that they are confident to discuss impediments at any level within the organization. The Product Owner. The Product Owner should own the product in an entrepreneurial manner, providing the vision to the Scrum team of the value that the product should deliver. Through this vision, the Product Owner maximizes the value of the work delivered by the development team. Through actively owning the product backlog as a living artifact, they maximize the amount of work not done. Therefore, you can consider the Product Owner as the value optimizer. The Development Team. At this point, the development team is the accurate name for those who deliver the value of the product. However, at this moment, Ken and Jeff are both reviewing and updating the Scrum Guide, and unfortunately the development team appears as if it will now be renamed. As this may change in the future, we will update this video, but at the moment the development team is the accurate term for those who carry out the work in a Scrum team. Now let's consider the 3 artifacts in Scrum. The Product Backlog. The Product Backlog is a living artifact describing the vision of the product through the product owner adding items to the backlog that will deliver the value expected from the product, and the development team refining the backlog items so they can be technically delivered in a sprint. Where items can be removed as no longer needed, not likely to deliver the expected value, or that this value can be delivered in another manner, then the product owner should do so in order to maximize the value of the work not done. The Sprint Backlog. The Sprint Backlog forms the plan of items the development team expects to deliver throughout the sprint. This may be broken down and described as tasks they intend to complete in order to deliver each product backlog item, or as tests that describe the work that must be completed so each backlog item can be considered done. The Done Increment. The Done Increment is the accumulated increments of all the sprints completed so far in order to deliver the product. If you're at the end of sprint 1, then the Done Increment will be the output from only that sprint. However, if you're at sprint 11, then the Done Increment is the accumulated work of all preceding sprints, as well as the output from the newly completed sprint 11, which comprises the potentially shippable product. Every time the product owner releases the Done Increment to their customers, this provides a feedback loop to the vision, and therefore to the product backlog based on the customer's reactions to the release. Now, let's identify the events in Scrum that connect the roles to the artifacts and build the feedback loops. Sprint Planning. The first event that occurs within the sprint is sprint planning. This allows the team to plan the work that will be taken from the product backlog and deliver the value that will be considered output at the end of the sprint. First, in sprint planning, they identify a sprint goal. In business terms, this sets the value heading for the outcome that the sprint will actually deliver. Then the development team will select the product backlog items that they believe will allow them to deliver that sprint goal. After that, they will break those items down into either the tasks or tests that will allow them to deliver that sprint backlog. The Daily Scrum. The event in which the development team participates to synchronize the work of the last 24 hours and the next 24 hours is called the Daily Scrum. This gives the development team an opportunity to inspect the work of the last 24 hours and adapt their plan for the next upcoming 24 hours. The Sprint Review. The Sprint Review is the event of a sprint where the Scrum team and its stakeholders can participate in the inspection of the work that has been produced to meet the goal of the sprint and how this progresses development of the overall solution. The outcome from the sprint review provides a feedback loop to both the product backlog and the choices made during sprint planning. One thing you can be assured to have as an outcome is an updated product backlog, even if it is agreed that the current order is correct. The Retrospective. The retrospective is the opportunity at the end of the sprint in which the Scrum team can inspect its implementation of Scrum as a process framework. the interactions of the people within the team, as well as any required skills in order to deliver the solution, while reviewing these to consider opportunities for continuous improvement. This provides a continuous improvement feedback loop for the Scrum team, which should take at least one continuous improvement goal into each sprint as a target to achieve. The sprint. The last event that we will consider is a special event called the container event. This is the actual sprint itself. It is termed as being a container event because all the activities of Scrum occur within a sprint. In the Scrum framework, there are no activities, events, or other actions that are carried on outside of the actual sprint. Therefore, the length of the sprint should be such that allows you to carry out all the work to deliver done and a complete increment of the product within this time box.